before we move on to Meek Mill real quick, I just wanted to bring up this question that I had with LeBron James.
Yes, please.
And it's because, yes, Mark and I, again, are like, we're kind of skeptical about LeBron James. Like, I know Laker fans have accepted him, or there's even LeBron fans that came into Laker Nation still liking him. But here's the thing, like, I feel as if you can never fully commit and be a fan with LeBron. And as we touched about it last segment, I really do feel as if LeBron James, yes, it's amazing that you're playing as many games as you can, or you're playing like your heart out every night that you are out on the floor at the age of 36. But at the same time, there's that like sales pitch type of answer that you give. And the thing that I had to ask is he playing every single game because he wants to be liked? Is it like Maximus? Does he see the Maximus version in Gladiator where the more he goes out to a fight and the crowd wins, he wins over the crowd? Does he realize like, the more I play, I'll win over the crowd? Is that the LeBron effect?
See, there's two sides to that, because now that I think about it, he already won a title with the Lakers, so he doesn't really have to win like Laker fans anymore. Sometimes it feels like maybe he's trying to just win everybody over, and I think that's what maybe this is about, because the fact that, we talked about load management, talked about him not resting. I am resting. I was sitting down, right? That's resting. Like, maybe he's just trying to overcompensate. As I mentioned earlier, off the air, we're talking at this conversation. I feel like he's trying to overcompensate for whatever criticism that he's been getting about not being, the GOAT or whatnot. But I don't know. Listening to the interview that you played earlier, I come from a sales background. It kind of feels like it's a little bit of a sales tactic that he's trying to sell. He's trying to sell the idea of him being this crazy workhorse, which he is, and like I said, he's showing the work, so it's not like he's not. It's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, man. Like, you don't have to though. It's like, no, I'm going to. Yeah, but you really don't.
It's like the person that's like, hey, I got an A on the last exam. What did you get? Oh, you got a B? Oh, man. Okay, well, like, next time. And it's just like they always, like, it's the straight A student trying to show off that they made honor roll.
Yeah.
It's like, like.
That's what it kind of feels like.
The dean's list,
Yeah, and that's what it kind of feels like. And I'm still not really completely convinced. Like, I feel like there's just some type of, like, I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't care if I'm wrong. Like, no big deal. Like, I've been wrong plenty of times, but there's been times that it kind of feels like, I don't know, he's just not being completely authentic. It just sounds like he's just trying hard and just kind of like trying to win everybody over still, and that likability. Because I feel like if anything that he's missing is that, like, you either loved or hated Kobe, but there's like a lot of gray area with LeBron, I feel.
Yeah.
So it's with Kobe, it was black and white. Like, you either really loved him or you hated him. I mean, clearly after his death, everyone just came out and the respect came out. But right now, it's just like, I don't know. He's like the Roman Reigns of, like, for those that watch WWE. He's very polarizing. Like, some people like him, some people hate him, some people call him this, some people call him that. But at the same time, it's like he's trying, but I don't know. There's just something still about it where I just feel like, I don't know. I'm just not buying into it 100%.
And I'm glad you brought up the pro wrestling factor to this, because I remember when LeBron first went to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
That felt like the Hulk Hogan NWO move, and he didn't want to play the part. He didn't want to be the villain. There were times where like he hated the way people were treating him. I remember he was having such a hard time swallowing that, and that's why he had to go back to Cleveland.
I just thought of it. That's the difference between him and Kobe. Kobe thrives on that. LeBron wants to be loved by everybody.
Yeah.
So LeBron wants to be liked by everybody. Kobe doesn't give a F if you like him or not.
Yeah.
Like, he thrives on it. LeBron, like, you say, oh, you criticize him. He's like, okay, well, and like, I feel like he's pouting. Like, in that interview, now it kind of makes sense. It kind of feels like he's pouting in that interview.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Like, LeBron and Paul George, there are certain trigger words that if you call them that, they'll get pissed. Like, LeBron doesn't like to be called bitch. That, like, bitch is like probably I could say bitch right now. I'm not trying to censor myself.
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't like being called a bitch.
Really?
Right? Like, that's something.
True. I mean, wasn't that kid's shirt when he took a picture with Carl? Was it? I'm sorry.
With LeBron? Yeah. No, but like that's something that like apparently that like got under LeBron's skin for a long time. Paul George, he doesn't like being called the 5-letter P word, which he was called recently by the Browns player. He was called by Brown from the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
So and then same thing with I'm trying to think. Devin Booker said something like soft ass bitch. Like, but I think it's along the lines of like Paul George is viewed across the league as soft. LeBron James, if he's like considered a bitch, it's because of like the certain things that he's done around the league, viewed in like the player circle.
Yeah.
So now that it's been talked across the community, they're like, oh, we don't want to be labeled as that. Paul George is like, I don't want to be viewed as that. LeBron is like, I need to prove myself, which is why I'm going to play every game. Who's the bitch now, you know?
Yeah. So, okay, now this is making a little bit more. I think we just figured something out now as far as at least with LeBron. I mean, with Paul, we always know he's the P word. But, and not pandemic either. The other word. But with LeBron, like, yeah, this kind of feels like now it's almost like a therapy session for LeBron. Hopefully he listens. I don't know. I doubt it, but yeah, it just kind of feels that way. It kind of feels like yeah, maybe he just wants to be liked by everybody, and he's just trying really hard to win people over because he is at the tail end of his career, and Space Jam 2 is coming out soon, I believe.
Yeah.
What is it? This year, next year, something like that?
I think this summer.
So maybe who knows? I mean, the dude's obviously he's a business guy. So he knows what's up, So yeah, I don't know. I think maybe he's just exposing himself with all this.
Could be. But we'll talk about this another time because I feel as if it's going to come back around later on this season. We'll close off on this unless we get a phone call. Again, 818-818-6401. Last thing we want to talk about is Meek Mill ripping about like doing a Kobe lyric.
Which is insane, by the way.
Which was very disrespectful. And then Vanessa Bryant coming back and ripping Meek over it. So the lyric that Meek Mill said is, "This bitch I'm effing always tells me that she loved me, but she never showed me. Yeah, and if I ever lack, I'm going out with my chopper. It'd be another Kobe."
Excuse me, Mr. Mill.
No, don't do this.
Was that necessary?
Was that even necessary?
Did you have to? Like, did you like write that? Is that something that you wrote? You're like, oh, I'm gonna get everybody with this one. This one's gold right here. This one's gonna put me over the top. This line about Kobe, like, what? I do you listen to Meek Mill?
No, I don't.
Like the only song I like is Tupac Back, and that's it. Maybe like one more, but I can't remember what else is on.
Like, here's the thing: when I hear Meek Mill, I think to myself, because I don't listen to any of his songs, I'm like, isn't that the guy that got dissed by Drake
twice?
So isn't he the Paul George of rap?
Actually, technically he is. I did like the fact that when Drake was it Drake or Meek Mill have a diss track first on each other?
I think Meek had one on him first.
That's what it was. It was
and
Meek.
Then Drake retaliated.
Yeah, and then before Meek could retaliate from Drake's, Drake dropped another one. They called it back to back, which is hilarious.
And then on top of that, the one thing that you got obliterated by the guy that just wrote Marvin's Room. Like you lost to the guy that cries on songs about a girl and does Hotline Bling.
I know.
Like, how in the hell? So that's the way I view Meek Mill. Like, I guess he went to prison again. I'm not like a rap connoisseur per se, especially like the.
I thought you were, or is it just Outkast only?
Outkast definitely. Like, I like old school hip hop, but it's just like the thing is I'm not like, if you ask me an album, I can't fucking name albums.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I shouldn't have dropped the effort, but whatever. I can't name albums like on the top of my head. Like, always know songs better.
Yeah.
The thing is with current rap, it's hard for me to like name stuff like Meek Mill, like Kendrick. I know a little bit about Kendrick.
Yeah.
I know a lot about J. Cole. I know a lot about Chance, but it's just the other ones I'm like having to struggle and have to dig through crates. But with Meek Mill, that's the thing where it's just like he never like stuck me as someone famous or important.
He's there's one mixtape that I like, and maybe like I said, Tupac Back I really liked, just mostly because of the beat. Well, of course, it was good too, but that's it. But the fact that did he really have to say that line? He knows what industry he's in. He knows the NBA is huge, with the hip hop community. Sports fans are huge with the hip hop community. Like, what? I just don't understand the logic that came behind him writing that lyric. And he hasn't responded yet, right?
No, he has. This is what happened with Vanessa. So Vanessa, I'm trying to look for it. Oh wait, so WNBA star Candace Parker, actually, who is really close to the Bryant family, immediately posted a statement supporting Vanessa. She goes, "I'm sorry, you and your girls," she capitalized you and girls, have to continually deal with S like this, Parker said. "It's not fair and it's not right. We love you and I am continually in awe in your ability to take the high road." Vanessa, where did Vanessa's comment go? She goes, "Dear at Meek Mill." So this was through an Instagram story. So she tagged him and she goes, "Dear at Meek Mill, I find this line to be extremely insensitive and disrespectful. period. Vanessa reported on IG, I am not familiar with any of your music, but I believe you can do better than this.
Dude, you heard it straight from Vanessa. You're in trouble.
And then 5:46 a.m. Pacific time.
Whoa!
I apologize to her private earlier today, not to the public. Nothing I say on my page directed to an internet viral moment or a family of grieving this woman. If you care about someone grieving, you can change the subject. If you care about someone grieving, change the subject.
Here's the thing. Like, when it comes to freedom of speech, I'll always stand up. I always defend it because you and I are both stand-up comedians, and generally that's what it's mainly been about for the last 5 years or so, freedom of speech. So he absolutely has the freedom to say whatever he wants. I really believe that, but I also believe that whoever says anything is responsible for what they've said. So in this case here, yeah, Meek Mill is just as responsible as he is, saying what he said, as to us, doing what we want or whatever. So, I mean, he has that freedom, but doesn't necessarily, mean he's right or he's wrong. But just he better expect, what's going to be coming his way, once he kind of like gives, puts it out there to the universe. So as far as like punishment, I mean, it's already out. It's not like you could delete it and be like, oh, everyone forget about it or redo the line. Yeah. I mean, I guess he could do that, but it's what's done is done. And if anything, all he did was just expose himself as a bonehead and just kind of like, because if he meant that line, he would have apologized. Just like how a comedian won't apologize for a joke that they said. So the fact that he's, even like, so clearly it was like expendable. He didn't have to say it. That wasn't meaningful to him. And that's that. So, but I just don't understand why, and going back to us being, being comedians, like we make a lot of like off color comments and it's our humor. I'm guilty as hell when it comes to dark humor. But in this case here, it's not humorous. It's rap. It's hip hop. It's an art form. It's music.
Yeah.
So once again, it's freedom of expression, but at the same time, expect the consequences.
Like I was on the way here and I was listening to Tim Dillon's podcast.
Yeah.
And the newest episode is titled, which gender is it? The one that's dating Devin Booker?
Oh, Kendall?
Kendall. So the title of it is Kendall versus Woody. And it's supposed to be Kendall Jenner versus Woody Allen. He just pretty much is talking about rape for 45 minutes. He's talking about rape. Some of the jokes are just like, it's not rape for the whole 45 minutes, but at the same time, he's obviously bringing up Woody Allen, and he's going like, yeah, this guy was talented, but he touched it and married his daughter. Like, it's that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's such a thing as tasteful comedy.
Yeah.
Tim Dillon knows how to pull off the art of telling a good joke no matter what. Whereas, like, this rap lyric, this was not a good rap lyric. I know there are so many other rappers that, like, if this was Eminem would have had a better way of involving the words chopper and Kobe to not make it seem so disrespectful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's the singer, not the song, as my favorite saying from Mick Jagger from the Rolling Stones. If for those children out there that don't listen to good music, hold on. I went way deep into that into that little mini rant. We were talking about Meek Mill. This of course. He could have, like, that lyric wasn't going to be something that was going to be tattooed on. So, like, I can't imagine, that's the bar right there, bro.
It would be tattooed on Ari Shaffir, of course.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
But other than that.
And like, I'm not saying I've not made, like, in bad, poor taste, like, jokes, especially with Kobe. I've laughed at him. Like, I've seen plenty, especially after, like, the day of. But that's how I cope. Like, but you try to explain that to the masses, like, no one's going to understand. They're just going to be like, oh, you're an a-hole.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. But it's how I cope. But in this case here, yeah, man, I mean, if you're going to do it, like, better. Do it right.